We're going to go ahead start with what we think the table is going to be. So we'll start off with what we believe. And going from top to bottom, we have Louisville City in first, Charleston second, Tampa Bay in third, Pittsburgh in fourth, the Detroit City in fifth, Rhode Island in sixth, Loudoun in seventh, Hartford in eighth, Legion are our first team out at ninth, Indy 11 and 10th, the Miami FC in 12th. You got Brooklyn, or sorry, in 11th, got Brooklyn in 12th, and you got the other new boys, Sporting Jacks, down there getting the wooden spoon. But how do we differ from the fans? Well, the fans, they think it's going to be Louisville in first, Charleston in second, Pittsburgh in third, Tampa Bay in fourth, Rhode Island in fifth, Detroit City in sixth, Hartford in seventh, Indy in eighth, Loudoun down in ninth, our first team out, Legion in 10th, Brooklyn in 11th, Sporting Jackson 12th, and the Miami FC in last. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the preview. Let's move over to the Charleston Battery. Hey, they had a lot of moves. There's been a whole lot of people go from the Battery. There's some names that you're used to seeing that are not going to be there in the Low Country next year. Will a new look attack force tactical change out of Ben Pierman?
I mean, the answer almost has to be yes when you lose Myers and Jennings and Aaron Malloy and Arturo Rodriguez. That's just a lot of definitional players that have ended up elsewhere in the world. So Charleston will need to be a little bit more moderate, right? And Malloy feels like especially the piece that defines that for them. He's somebody that you could rely on at every level in possession to be that tempo-setting passer. To me, you look at this squad, you look at even a Sean Suber coming in, some of the bigger additions at the striker spot. There's a world where Charleston wants to be a little bit more direct, play some more long balls, and be varied in a way that the more I think about it, the more it makes sense with the way that the rest of the league has gone tactically. So maybe they're different, but that doesn't mean they're bad.
Yeah, and ever since Ben Pierman arrived in the Low Country, Charleston has not finished in the Eastern Conference lower than third, which was his first season. That's back-to-back seasons where they've been the second-best team in the conference behind Louisville, second-best team in the league for the Players' Shield race. Like, this is a very consistent side that if anyone's going to figure out this team tactically, Ben Pierman's going to get it done. And I'm actually circling October 10th. It's the third final game of the season for Charleston. They're playing Louisville, which could very well be going a long way towards determining who could be winning the Players' Shield this year, who could be number one seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I'm fascinated here because, I mean, it is an all-new attack, right? I think that you're going to look at pieces out like a Cal Jennings, who's apparently just loving life in Japan. Good for him. You're looking at a Juan David Torres who's gone on loan with a massive buyout, or that's going to be coming there for the club. You lose other players along the way that I'm just kind of blanking on off the top of my head. Obviously, Aaron Malloy as well. But then you look at who they have, where they have Husu. They got Yakaza. I mean, people forget, but Husu might be like the best number 6 in the league. Like, he's remarkably good. They have Suber, who's come down. Great. They have Smith. Then you have Jeremy Kelly, who, again, Crawleytown back to the USL. Why does this keep happening? People forget how good he was. Miguel Berry was ridiculous with his short time with the Loyal. And over on the bench, you have him listed right now, John. Swan has been a superstar in the preseason, and everybody in Charleston camp cannot talk highly enough of this kid. Like, they're having, even though they play different positions, they're putting them in the same breath as Fidel Barajas, which cannot be understated in how good of a talent that is. They've retooled fully. Yes, they're going to miss those pieces, but you love what you got.
I do think there is a drop off from the 3 or 4 nailed on all league USL guys that they had, and some of the players who are very good, because there is a difference between those levels. And seeing Charleston a bit in the friendly bit they played on Saturday, you can tell that, talent aside, there is a bit of a learning curve and rustiness to shake off. This team had certain patterns the last 2 years that are just going to need to be reforged. And that chemistry is going to come slowly, like it or not. Now, maybe that will happen in April and Charleston has an up and down opening week or two and then rushes through and does their thing. I ended up picking them fourth in the conference because I do think it's going to be gradual as they kind of get up to speed.
Yeah, and to have these first 4 games for Charleston, they're hosting defending champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds to start the year, then hosting Birmingham, and then they have 2 away days against Detroit and Louisville. So this very well could be a slow start to the season.
And it's not easy, but someone said last year, and I think it still reigns true this year as we've gotten really into the weeds of these previews. There is no bad team in the USL this year. There's a gap. There's undoubtedly a gap between the top and the bottom, but there is no bad team in the USL this year. And it's going to be a dogfight. And if this starts slow and somebody else besides Louisville gets hot, then you could be fighting for a 3-4 home playoff spot. But off talent alone, and frankly, trusting Ben Pierman and Ian Cameron, who makes way from South Georgia Tormenta after he steps down last year midway through the season and now is coming through, I have nothing but faith in this coaching staff to create another winning group.
Yep. Yeah, in Ben Pierman we trust is kind of always the calling card here.
Also, the picture they posted of Ben Pierman earlier made me shoot them way up. He has a dog. He has a cowboy hat. I love it.
Yeehaw season in Charleston. Let's go.
Any final thoughts on the Battery? I'm going to ask one question before we move on, which is if it clicks right away, let's say they start off the season and it is clicking. Is there a world where they are right there neck and neck with Blue City this year?
See, for me, I look and I see a Louisville team that is as good, if not better than they were. I see a Charleston team that I do think is a tick worse. So the answer is no. But hey, Ben Pierman do that thing, you know?
Fair enough. We didn't mention the goalkeeping situation here. They brought in Burner, which is interesting. Zamudio is back, and Kozmeka is also back. 3 safe keepers that I trust a lot, so can't hate it. Cannot hate it.